Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Why Caught Alive. Please remember to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd, subscribe if you have not done so as yet, follow me on Instagram and Twitter now called X at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Y'all, y'all, who child, Destiny and Dion, y'all been doing some nasty work over the past few months of y'all doing these messy mental health Mondays. But y'all have taken it to a level tonight that must be discussed. Y'all have taken it to a level tonight that must be addressed. That was some crazy and nasty work coming from a licensed marriage and family therapist that says she has over 4 years postgraduate practice, I guess. Let me let me go to her thing real quick. Cause I'm no licensed therapist. I'm no licensed therapist. But I sure know what reactive AB is. And you know what? We're going to say all the words tonight. This video is not going to be monetized because we already know how YouTube feels about certain words that are used. But we just going to say the ish tonight. We just going to say the ish tonight. And I wish that I didn't ramble as much. But it may be some rambling tonight, okay? As I get the thoughts out. So bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. But as I said, we gonna say the words tonight. YouTube isn't gonna monetize this video. And it is what it is. Y'all wanna support the channel? My Cash App is right there. But let's talk about it. Because Miss Dion, a licensed marriage and family therapist, with over 4 years of postgraduate experience and over 18 years of experience providing mental health services, you say your background includes individual, couples, family, and group sessions, right? That's what you say on your thing. So, with all these accolades behind your name, I would think that you would know more than Destiny, who is sitting on the next screen across from you. You would know that there is also something called reactive abuse. And you would also know, Dion, what that stems from. You would also know to tell your life coaching client. At this point, I don't know what Destiny is to you, but you would know to tell your life coaching client that, look, we are not going to speak on Melody's experience in that marriage. We're not going to invalidate her experience in that marriage. And when it comes to this situation, we are not going to do any whataboutisms because, Destiny, you don't know ish. You don't know squat. One second, y'all. I forgot to pull up something. Forgot to pull up something. Pardon me, y'all. I'm gonna read your comments in a second. Okay, so God, see, the universe knows that I'm on the right page. Cause let me tell you, y'all, this clip is in my phone, and I didn't know where in my phone it is. This the way I did the graphics in my phone when I pull up the pictures, the screen is black, so I couldn't tell if it was the right image, but I just guessed and it's the right image. It's the right image. So this is how I know. This is how I know I'm talking. I'm supposed to be doing this right now. So let me loop it. Let me loop it. Let me loop it. So as I was saying, Destiny, you don't know squat about. In the same way, we don't know a lot about the things that Melody has endured in that situation because she hasn't shared a lot. See, y'all are sitting on your messy mental health Mondays talking about the direction of the show was built around these two people and their story, meaning Melody and Martel's story. But what y'all don't understand is the half of it has not been told. The half of it has not been told. But in a scene a few years ago, when Melody, after the Vegas trip, Melody and Martel, they had a sit down where Martel brought up how he was going to file for, sole custody of the children. And in the discussion, Melody pointed out that they barely they barely celebrated their first anniversary because of Martel's mouth and how he would talk to her and her attitude. And she says, let's be 100%. You've been disrespecting me for years. And when she said that, what Martel said in response was, stop talking so loud. We're in public. You're talking too loud. Not, that's not true. You're talking too loud. You're embarrassing me right now. We're in public. She talked about in the scene how in Vegas, two times, people had to hold him back from getting at her. We have witnessed this man pull up, pull up to the skating rink to a party he was not invited to. And I don't care about people who are going to say, well, it's his daughter's birthday party. They have a co-parenting relationship. And when you're co-parenting in a situation that is volatile, there doesn't need to be any joint parties. She can have her party with her kids, and he can go and have his. But he pulled up. And when he was asked to leave, we witnessed in real time how he was screaming in Mama Van's face. And I'm just saying, those are the things, those are the things that we have seen on screen. We have no idea what hasn't been revealed. And you want to sit up on your messy mental health Mondays when, as Dion puts it, your rights to speak on your situation has been, I guess, taken from you through the courts. But was it taken from you, Destiny? Or did you and Leberick in your divorce agree that neither of you would disparage the other party? Because we're not going to play semantics. We're not going to play semantics. And we're not going to play switching up the narrative or 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 manipulating the truth to fit yours and Dion's narrative. The truth is that y'all both agreed that you would not disparage the other. That was a mutual agreement, was it not? Now, the only reason I'm not reading the court document is because I want to take from trending at some points content. But y'all can go over there and look in trending's playlists, and you'll be able to hear for yourself what the agreement was. So, was your right to speak on your divorce and things that happen in your marriage taken, or did you agree, along with Leberick, that y'all wouldn't be out here in the media speaking on each other in a negative light? You want to sit on on your messy mental health Monday platform, Destiny, acting like you want to shed a tear for Martel. The whataboutisms of it all. If we're gonna talk about Martel's Martel's behavior, then we need to talk about what has Melody done to Martel. Pray tell. And then let us know where you got the information from. Because Dion, a licensed marriage and family therapist, would be able to watch the video that Martel had Tasha K post of Melody. And you would be able to see for yourself that, nah, that was him antagonizing her. And as he says in this scene after the Vegas trip, I know how to push your buttons. So you're going to exclude context. And you're not going to say, well, the things that we do know about Melody and Martel's situation is one, when she pulled up to that house and she put some lighter fuel on what was her furniture, he had stolen money from her. Before we even get to that point, let's talk about the years of emotional abuse. Because infidelity, to the extent that he was doing it, is emotional abuse. To have your wife pregnant and have a woman think that it would be in any way, shape, or form okay to message her saying, oh, he's eating corn with you tonight, but he was doing XYZ with me last night? That's abusive, Dion, right? Licensed marriage and family therapist. Is that not abuse? To say to your wife that she's going to learn to accept you cheated. And these aren't allegedly, these are things that Martel himself has admitted. These are things in the public domain. So I'm not putting allegedly behind anything. And we're going to sit on Messy Mental Health Mondays, albeit a Thursday, albeit a Thursday. And we're going to say, let's point the finger at Melody too, because she has been violent towards Martel. But I think a lot of context is missing from that conversation because Dion, you've been on a mission since the first Messy Mental Health Mondays. You've been on a mission, in my opinion, to paint Melody as a villain and to paint her as narcissistic, to paint her as manipulative. And you know what? If that's how you feel when it comes to her friendship with Destiny, based on things that Destiny has told you, okay, be petty and do that. But when it comes to speaking on anything that happened in this woman's marriage from the point of view of Destiny, Dion, that's some nasty work. And you should know better. Melody pulls up to her marital home during the heights of the Ponderosa, and he's not allowing her inside her home to get any clothes, to get any furniture, to get any clothes for the kids. And she started wheeling a baseball bat. Okay. He goes into her account and steals money. And she pulls up and she says, you need to put my money back in my account right now. Something that eventually the judge also told him to do. But because she wanted to be done with that man, she said, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Reactive abuse. She's sitting in a scene on a camera with Chris Fletcher, Nell Fletcher, and him. And he's continuing to say things to her that he knows is going to trigger her. She wasn't taking care of him, but the next woman was taking care of him, purposefully triggering her on camera. And she gets upset and she throws a glass. And all of a sudden now, the licensed therapist in the room can't pinpoint how that is also reactive abuse. I don't have these credentials that Dion has, and I can point this out. And you want to allow Destiny to do her whataboutisms? And if you're going to talk about Martel, we have to talk about Melody too. How about you don't talk about either of them, Destiny? How about you mind your business on this one since you are so close to the situation? You are not just a YouTuber. Sorry, you're not just a YouTuber in this scenario giving your thoughts and opinions. You are giving your thoughts and opinions as a former friend of Melody and as a current friend to Martel. There's a difference here. And you're trying to speak from a standpoint of acting like you got some deep insider information. I dare you to say where the information is coming from. Because I think what's bothering Destiny and Dion at this point in time is people pointing out how Destiny is saying, I am a voice to the voiceless. Let me be your voice. But you can't be talking about somebody's situation that you aren't privy to. In the same way, y'all, I have sat on my platform several times in talking about Destiny, and I have said, I am not going to invalidate Destiny's experience. I'm not going to do no whataboutisms. If she said that ish happened to her, then guess what? I'm going to stay mute because I don't know what happened in her marriage. And I'm a stranger. I don't know her, and I don't know LeBeric. And I can say, I'm going to shut my mouth on that situation because I don't know. And I'm not going to, as a woman, invalidate another woman's experience. But yet, here's Destiny with all the proof in the world of Martel admitting to sending the threat, of us knowing right now that he is still harassing Melody. The woman is coming from the DA's office and she's getting messages asking her what was she doing there. And a licensed marriage and family therapist is going to sit on her platform, still trying to spew all these terminologies and ish about narcissism and narcissistic people. And once again, it's a hyper focus on Melody and Melody's life and what's going on with Melody and Martel. And Destiny's still not talking about her shit. I don't, I don't understand this. This is crazy. And I don't care. They're gonna have to strike my channel. And if y'all strike my channel, Destiny and Dion, just believe it's gonna be a strike for a strike. Cause this is crazy. This is crazy. I'm trying to enter my password, y'all. This, I'm gonna let y'all hear this mess. I was so disgusted. And I continue to say, I listen. Actually, I didn't listen to their last Messy Mental Health Mondays. I was over them. But tonight, I was like, no, I gotta come live to talk about this mess because what? This is crazy. This is disgusting. All right, we pulling it up. Making me broken, but y'all ain't gonna never break me. Whatever. I don't care about none of that. Let me read y'all's comments real quick. Y'all, this, ooh, Destiny is so dumb for daily wasting her time and energy defending Martel. Ain't no way. Um, Hi, I see. I don't have mods yet, but hi, Cass. Someone needs to send that to Melody so she can give it to the. This is direct violation of the no contact order by third party. In my opinion, I think it is, but I don't know. I'm not, I'm not a lawyer. Um, Hi, Lady Pooh. Hi, Tulashree's Sunny. Golden says, there has to be a lot going on behind the scenes between Dusty and Martel for years. How long has Dusty been a child? At this point, she caping for him more than Ariane's caping for him. We don't know what in the text that Martel sent me. They only know what what he tells them. I'm gonna assume that you mean them. They are dumb because he confessed in court and in two interviews about what he sent Melody. Child, you can tell Melody has not revealed a lot of what she endured with Martel. We have seen what he has done in public and for TV. Um, Violent and aggressive behind the scenes. I am sure that monster is worst. Emotional abuse. Going through so much, you have to hide in a closet to cry so that your children won't have to witness you crying because of what their father is putting you through. But let Dion tell it. Let Destiny tell it. Martell is the one that was going through it too. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. They like to yell it's TV, but we know what we are seeing in real life. We're seeing it on the TV and we're seeing it in real life. Emotional abuse is throwing rocks and hiding hands, using your baby mama, your mistress, to attack your estranged wife, to attack your ex-wife, and then acting like you don't know what's going on when you're the one, in my opinion, putting the battery in that girl's back. What's the word emboldened? Making her feel so emboldened that she could sit on Instagram lives day after day after day and talk about who? Melody. Melody wasn't even bothering this girl, wasn't even talking about this girl, wasn't even thinking about this girl. We ain't forget, Ariane, that you tweeted how there was a video of Melody giving lollipop service to some man in a hotel and it wasn't her husband. We ain't forget that you tweeted that, knowing good and well that it wasn't no other man, it was indeed her husband. That's abuse. But let Destiny tell it, let Dion tell it. Martell is the one that we need to be concerned about too, child. Yep, and for her to open her big face or to speak on something he was convicted of means she should go down the tubes. Listen, talking about he said it wasn't the truth when the man did how many interviews? How many interviews did he do? Admitting to what he did? Let's continue. Um, Martel had stolen money he had withheld. Right? He had withheld her and her children's personal belongings. He excluded her and the children from the house. Let's talk about it. Emotional abuse. Sorry, you two. We're going to say the words today. We're going to say the words today. Have her in the house, not wanting to let her out the house with her things, and she had to take up a baseball bat. But Melody was violent towards Martel too. Stop leaving out context, Destiny. Right. Thank you, Cass. She said it on her Instagram.
In the chat that can say, "Hey, wait a minute,
It's let me play these parts because oh, I tell you, I'm trying to find it.
I don't know what it is about these young boys. They just like flocking like
Whatever.
so there's the unrenewable source of energy and time and time. And we ain't got energy to be over here like dealing with other people's stuff. When we said let the dead bury the dead last week, that's what we meant. Let the dead bury the dead. We ain't got time for it. Know who you girl. Sometimes I be like, I'm Shopify going off at the same. So I'm not, I'm not compromising on the things that I was raised to. It
I'm
is
trying to
not
find the
only
part.
a cement candle that is a box that looks.
Girl, we don't want to hear nothing but
You
the
don't
candle.
go. It's not even just black business owners. You're not gonna go buy a Louis Vuitton candle. We don't know where the Louis. Yeah. Yeah. One, it was accepting that I was a survivor, and then
Okay,
business
here we go.
have represent where I had what I've been going through, what I've been
Sorry, y'all.
pushing through.
They took
How
the
I used to
transcript.
always say to when I was in with another therapist, like, how do I get my fire back? Like, I feel
The
like
transcript
I lost
isn't
it.
on
Like,
there.
I feel like my drive, my fire is gone.
Ooh, and guess
So the
what, y'all?
candles represent me getting that fire back,
I don't
getting
know.
that
I
vitamin
don't need
flame.
to hear any of that. I'll still let it play out. Guess what, y'all? I should have timestamped it. So some of the comments that I saw earlier that were telling both of them that they were wrong for bringing up anything that has to do with Melody's DV situation has been deleted. And they're going to continue. I think for the rest of the night, they're going to be over there deleting a lot of those comments. A lot of those comments. Because let me tell you something. As an so called advocate, Destiny, one thing you should never do is the whataboutisms as an advocate.
And this is what I love. We come together. We come that when we talk and when we have a good heart to heart, you're not in this thing just to take something from people. I know that you're always trying to figure out how can I get value to people. You would go and you might talk some trash with some big D combos. Big D combo. Me, I just needed a mental break from that aspect of it.
I wish I had time stamped
it. Which is so crazy because I'm like, I just I don't get it. Yeah. But I think I don't think you have a again, you're not responsible for the outcomes. You're responsible for what you put into it.
This lady is so full of shit. And y'all know I
Keep being
don't curse.
honest. I think keep being honest.
But that's how I feel about Dion. She's such a clout chaser. She's not providing any value over there on Messy Mental Health Mondays.
What is it? She said, "Is it me or does a lot of people have NP? A lot of folks. Wait, is it me or are there a lot of folks with NPD like traits? You mean like in general? Are we're starting to see the traits be higher, and there's more research. I won't say it's everybody. I think it gets ANI, RAMANI. And so, I mean, you can educate yourself, do a little bit of education. We ever have an open panel? Yeah, we talked about that. I don't know how to do it on here, but
y'all are never gonna have an open
sales. You want to
panel.
talk about real estate sales? I am still like a limitation to how I can interact with people in general if they don't want to be better and do better by a woman, or we excuse it.
Okay, here we go. I found it. Ooh, child. Ooh.
You have no idea what I've been through. You have no idea what goes on behind closed doors with any of these parties. And for you to question me in my journey of violence, like recalibrate yourself. Mm-hmm. Recalibrate how you think, or don't. Just don't come over here.
And you know what? As I've continued to say, I can agree with that sentiment. When somebody says that they've gone through certain things in their situation, I am of the firm belief that unless there is some clear evidence, like I think in the case of what's his name, this footballer, Deion Sanders, I think, in like the case of him and his ex wife, where his ex wife had accused him of abuse, physical abuse. And then later on, it came out that she was lying, right? I don't remember if that's the name of that footballer. And there was like a video of him and his sons walking on a football field. And then he saw his ex wife and he was running out of there. I don't remember if that's his name. But that's a prime example of a lot of people believed her. A lot of people believed her, were riding with her until irrefutable evidence came out that that man was innocent. The very single thing she claimed, right? But as a woman, as a girl's girl, I'm a ride for the woman that's saying, this is what has happened to me and this is my experience. And I've said this constantly when it comes to Destiny. Thank you, me, you, Deion Sanders. Yeah, that lady was from the mountains, had him in court and everything, saying he was physically abusive. I think at one point she got sole custody of the children on the strength of the courts believed her. And then irrefutable evidence came out that that man was innocent. So for me, Destiny says, okay, this was her experience. I'm not going to invalidate that. And nobody should, unless you have some irrefutable evidence that we shouldn't believe her. But let's continue with what she had to say.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say. Um,
This lady that's full of shit.
because sometimes people don't recognize domestic violence when it is perpetrated by a woman, or we excuse it. Um, so yeah, and this is where I want to thank you. Yeah, this is where I want to just challenge people to look at your own ideas. I don't think you have to defend yourself around that. I want you to challenge your own ideas about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Like, uh, is it acceptable for women to be perpetrators? Because I think also the biggest question is, should we have a conversation and a discussion about what a text message is versus, and there's no me not taking anything away from the weight of that. And I
bringing it up, bringing it up in a conversation, bringing up the text message, the threat that was presented in the form of a text message in a conversation on your YouTube with your messy therapist is taken away from the weight of it. Because she's already, Dion, I'm talking about, already laying the foundation of let's look at Melody. Let's look at her actions. So The minute Dion lays that table, lays that foundation, here is Destiny jumping in ready. Let's talk about the difference between a text and I'm not taking away from the weight of it. Yep, you are. Because Dion lined it up for you so that you can come in with the BS. But let's continue to listen.
I never agree with anybody being sending any type of text messages. I don't agree with harassment in any form or fashion. I've experienced it. But when you have,
But what? I don't agree with it, but. So that made everything that you said before that but is now void. I don't agree with it, but he shouldn't do it, but I shouldn't have said it, but I'm sorry, but once you put a but after those first set of words, everything you said before that but is now null and void, not valid anymore. But let's continue.
situations and people lean into the DVDV, like look at all of it. Look at all of it.
How about you take your own advice? Take your own advice. Because what you're about to do now, Destiny, is invalidate another woman's entire experience. Because you want to cape for somebody else. And also because you want to defend your support of that man. But let's continue.
Now, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. There's a lot that the most people do not know about that situation.
Including yourself, Dion. You've never met Melody, you've never met Martel, you've never had a conversation with either parties. The only thing you know about these people is the same thing that I know about them from a TV show. But what's a little bit different with you, Dion, that makes you different from all the other content creators over here on YouTube is that Destiny know these people personally. And I still don't believe that half of what Melody has gone through, I don't think she ever told Destiny any of that. I mean, we've seen what Destiny has done with the little information she kind of has. So, who are you to speak on this situation? And I'm speaking from the point of view of you're speaking to Destiny, someone who is close to Martel. This is some nasty work.
There's a lot that people don't know about that situation. But there are things that people have shared about the situation as well. And you can look at those things and you can hear the comments that were made openly and blatantly. And I'm confused about why people excuse it.
Excuse what? See, this is why I say this lady is full of shit. She has a 12-12, y'all. Sorry. She has, in my opinion, like a personal vendetta against Melody, in my opinion. Let's play that part again. Let's play that part again. Because I know what I've seen in the public domain. I have heard the story from Melody's point of view and also from Martel's point of view in the public domain. I watched during the Pandarosa that Instagram live of both of them. So I think that I'm on the side of right when I say that when it comes to Melody, there is absolutely nothing that, how she puts it, while we're excusing whatever behavior, we're not excusing anything because we see it for exactly what it is. I'm gonna read what it is in a second. But let's continue.
The DVD, like look at all of it. Look at all of it. Now here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say. There's a lot that,
So she made a lot of comments were popping up during this live, but she made sure that she took off the copyright infringement notice to showcase the comment that says, Destiny, you've always held Martel accountable. I already showed that one video where they claimed that Destiny was holding Martel accountable, and she wasn't holding Martel accountable. She was telling him that if you believe Melody cheated, then that doesn't mean you should go out and cheat too. That's the one example of them that they have of Destiny, quote unquote, holding Martel accountable. But let's continue.
that the most people do not know about that situation. There's a lot that people don't know about that situation. But there are things that people have shared about the situation as well. And you can look at those things and you can hear the comments that were made openly and blatantly. And I'm confused about why people excuse it. Well, no, I'm not actually confused about why people excuse it. I just want to point out that it's being excused. And this is the problem with
What is being excused, Dion? A woman who's had to defend herself because at first she wasn't able to get into her home, and then when she was in the house he wasn't allowing her to leave. A woman who, after she left the home and wasn't able to get clothes or shoes or bags or furniture, she finds out that this man stole her money, and he's in the house poking and poking and poking at her, and then presses record so that all we have is a reaction. And even though we hear him in the video, no, Mel, don't put lighter fuel on it, man. What is there to excuse? I'm not understanding. This is coming from a license, a professional license, family and marriage therapist. And this is her analysis of the situation. This is your analysis of the situation, Dion. This is why, this is why I believe it's unethical for this lady to be sitting on this YouTube platform with Destiny. Because she's like, oh, I know why it's being excused. Why is it being excused? Because you feel like Melody's a narcissist? You've never been around this woman a day in your life? All you have to go by is what Destiny has told you. That's all you have to go by. And looking at isolated, out of context scenes on a reality TV show. Because by Dion's standards, if Melody is narcissistic based on what she's seen on the show, then Destiny definitely is a narcissist too. Highly, in my opinion, manipulative in how she presents information. But that's a video for another day.
Building around two other people's issues. That's the problem with that. And that's how things have been unfortunately set up for you in the experiment, that is built around these two people's issues. And they both have stuff to work on. Both of them do. And so we try to get away from that.
What does Melody have to work on right now in terms of the situation with Martel? Dion, this is why I say you are full of shit. In the situation, specifically, this is what I'm speaking about. Specifically, in the situation between Melody and Martel, can somebody please point out to me what Dion could possibly think Melody has to work on? Is she the one harassing Martel? Is she the one that has Martel under surveillance, knowing his comings and goings? Is Melody the one texting him, I'm sorry, 100 times, when all he should be communicating with her about is the children? Is Melody the one doing that? Is Melody the one filing frivolous motions in the courts? Is Melody the one that was asked to go and do a psychological evaluation? And to date, we still don't know if Martel has gotten that done. In the situation that pertains to Martel and Melody, Dion, what do you think Melody has to work on? Pray tell, since you know so much, since you are providing therapy for Melody and Martel, you're providing family counseling for them, I guess. So this is why you can say with your chest that they both have something to work on. What do they have to work on? We know what Martel has to work on. He just violated a no contact order. So we know that he needs to work on boundaries and following court orders. Did we not hear Tasha K say this man reached out to her with information, lying about Melody having an intimate relationship with her bodyguard? So, Dion, I beg, tell us what Melody has to work on in the situation with Martel, since you know so much. But let's continue. And let me put my banner up. Again, this video is not going to be monetized. You want to support the channel, my Cash App is up there somewhere. But the Fair Use Act allows the use of copyrighted material for commentary, which I'm doing, criticism, which I'm doing, and education. So this copyright infringement notice authorized use, production, reproduction, or distribution of this material without explicit permission is strictly prohibited and may result in legal action. What legal action? First of all, there is no legal action that you can take against anybody who decides to clip up this entire foolishness of a messy mental health Mondays and put it on their channel. Again, the Fair Use Act The Fair Use Act or the Fair Use Doctrine is a legal principle that allows the use of copyrighted material without permission in certain circumstances, Dion and Destiny. And the circumstances include commentary, criticism, I'm definitely criticizing, and education. So y'all need to stop with this stupid this stupid copyright infringement notice that y'all have up every week talking about legal action. Now, sorry y'all. Now, if you choose to strike my channel, YouTube has several choices. What YouTube will do is they will demonetize the video if they choose. That's okay. Or they might contact me and say, hey, I need to remove the parts of the video that y'all claim belongs to you. And I can appeal it and show YouTube exactly how I've utilized your video within the copyright, the Fair Use Act guidelines. And if they remove the video, oh well. The 68 people who are in here right now, thank you all, have already heard my thoughts. They've already heard my thoughts. But anyways, let's continue. Let's continue. Dion has she has a dislike for Melody. Like when you look at her face, her neck rolls, her eyes, the body language of it all. When she talks about Melody or when she is referencing Melody, you can tell this lady dislikes Melody. I don't know what Melody did to her. Must have stolen her dog or something. I don't know. But she has a dislike for Melody. It's crazy to me that it's crazy.
But here's what I am going to say, because people like to play in that area because they know that
You shouldn't be saying anything, Miss Licensed Therapist, about anything that has to do with a situation, a DV situation that you are not privy to. But let's continue.
Destiny cannot talk about it. Her First Amendment rights have been taken, which is
Again, how was Destiny's First Amendment rights taken? How was her freedom to speak on her situation taken? Last I checked, her divorce documents said that neither Destiny or LeBerick can disparage each other in the public domain. So the way Messy Dion is presenting Destiny's First Amendment rights being taken, the way you are presenting that is dishonest. You are a dishonest lady, Dion. You're a dishonest lady. You know it wasn't taken. It was something she agreed to. Why, Destiny, why did you agree to that? If it was so important for you to tell your story, then why, when you signed those divorce papers, how does Winter song go? You better sign those papers and give my divorce. Ooh, Winter, you did your thing with that. But, anyways, when Destiny signed those divorce papers, when Destiny signed those divorce papers, Dion, she signed an agreement. Laberick too signed an agreement that he would not speak on Destiny negatively in the public, and she also signed that she wouldn't speak on him negatively in the public. And Destiny, you sat in interviews and you said that the reason you agreed to that was because you were protecting your son. So all of a sudden, Dion is puffing up her chest and she's saying, Destiny can't speak, but I can. Well, child, I hope by you speaking, Dion, you won't get Destiny in more poo poo than she is right now, legally. Because the only way you can speak on Destiny's situation from Destiny's perspective is if Destiny told you things, which I'm not a lawyer, but wouldn't that mean that she's violating the agreement to not disparage her ex-husband? I mean, I haven't heard LeBerick say not a good thing or a bad thing about Destiny in the public domain. I haven't heard Destiny's mama, his father, if they're still alive, his sister, brother, uncle, cousins. I haven't heard any of them say not a good nor bad word about you, Destiny. So I don't know why Dion is so heated and so froggy, saying that while you can't speak, she can. Well, speak then, Dion. Like, ain't nobody stopping you, girl. But I hope that when you speak, it doesn't land your life coaching client in more legal hot waters. Because clout chasing is a drug. It's a drug. But let's continue to hear what Dion has to say, child. Messy Dion.
Problem with building around two other people's issues.
I played
That's
that
the
part
problem
already.
with that. And that's how things have been unfortunately set up for you in the experiment that is built around these two people's issues, and they're both.
And first of all, she's like, this is how the situation has been set up for Destiny in this experiment that is called reality TV. First of all, the show existed before Destiny. The show existed before Destiny. Now, the producers and also Kimmy have said that it's like pulling teeth, trying to get a story out of Destiny. So, if Destiny in this experiment wanted to tell her story, she could have. Ain't nobody stopping her. If the other couples wanted to tell their stories, they could have. But the truth is, everybody latched on to Melody and Martel's story so that they didn't have to talk about themselves. Everybody said, Dion, I want to be a part of this experiment, but let them other two people do all the work so that we can benefit from it. As much as I don't see it for Martel, the truth is that Love and Marriage Huntsville was built on the backs of Melody and Martel being transparent in their story. And to date, no one else has been as transparent as Melody. So all this is how this experiment was designed for you, Destiny. Child, this experiment was not designed for Destiny. This show wasn't created for Destiny. And Destiny had every opportunity to tell her story, and she still has not done so. There are aspects of her story that there are no legal restrictions that exist, but she still hasn't told it. Let's use Marlo Hampton, for example. Marlo, she runs a nonprofit organization for girls in foster care. And she talks about that nonprofit foundation every chance that she gets. Marlo has shared her story. Now, I'm not saying exploit your mama like Mia exploited her mama on national TV, but at least when it comes to Marlo Hampton, we have an idea of what it was like being raised by her mom and what she went through as a child. Nothing has stopped Destiny from sharing that story on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Nothing has stopped Destiny from creating events and scenes where she's talking about the downside of being in foster care. Nothing has stopped her. And at the point in time when she was getting a divorce, before she signed any documentations that said she can't speak on Liberic, she had an opportunity to talk about her experience in that marriage, and she chose not to. So, Dion, shut up. You're trying to make Destiny a victim, but we've seen it play out. She could have told her story. She chose not to. And she came back and she's still not telling her story. Quite evident by this messy mental health Monday, Thursday that y'all did. Hyper focus still on Melody and Martel. But let's continue. I'm gonna read y'all comments. I promise. But let's continue.
Oh, they both have stuff to work on. Both of them do.
As I said, Dion don't know squat about Melody, so she shouldn't be even alluding to Melody having anything to work on when it comes to the situation with Martel. I said that before, but I needed to reiterate that. Because as we see in the public domain, the only person being bothersome in this situation right now is Martel. So Dion, again, shut up.
And so we try to get away from that. But here's what I am going to say, because people like to play in that area because they know that Destiny cannot talk about it. Her First Amendment rights have been taken, which is wild to me.
It wasn't taken.
Which is beyond wild to me. Um, she can't talk about it, but I can.
So go ahead.
And I'm not going to tonight. I'm not going to tonight. But I want people to know who playing in those waters. I haven't lost my First Amendment rights. And she can't talk about it.
Ooh, she got so froggy here, y'all.
And we're trying to be responsible. So
are you being responsible, Dion? As a licensed family and marriage therapist? Are you being responsible in fixing your mouth to say Melody has things to work on when it comes to her situation with Martel? Are you being responsible? Are you being responsible when you're trying to paint a woman that you don't know as a narcissist? Is that responsible or is that unethical? 'Cause I really want to know. But let's continue.
the fact that there are all these questions around Destiny's domestic violence from people who are asking in this very triggering way.
No, what people are saying is Destiny is saying that she is a DV, an advocate for people who have gone through DV. That's what she's saying. And people are questioning why is she not triggered by Martel? Why is she caping for Martel so much as an advocate? Why do you sit? Why did you sit on that interview with Dustin Ross and invalidate the hell out of Melody's experience by saying, everything that me and Martell are going through, it makes me wonder if my ex and his ex are in cahoots to get us arrested. That's what people are asking about. I've heard several content creators in this space who will say over and over they don't see it for Destiny, but there's something about LeBeric that they don't rock with. I've heard that so many times. I've heard so many content creators that I follow in this space that says, I don't see it for Destiny, but I'm not going to invalidate what she says is her experience. But when we see you in a scene, knowing good and well that Martel was convicted, knowing good and well that he did several interviews where he admitted to what he did, knowing good and well that he's alluded to a video being out there. He's alluded to it. Ariane has alluded to it. Marsaw has alluded to, oh, we got a video of somebody's mama. But you're still sitting on your messy mental health Mondays trying to cape for Martel. Girl.
I just want you to remember your standards.
You remember your
the standard that you
standards,
have.
Dion.
If somebody is supporting somebody that they know to be abuser, I want you to remember how you feel about that. So if you find out that that shoe fits way too well for somebody else, I want you to remember your standard. I want you to remember your standards.
Anyways, I'm done with this dumb lady. I'm done. This is that. This, like all them other messy mental health Mondays, those were a trip. And I've talked about them on my channel. But this one takes the cake, child. Like, Melody, I don't know what you did to Dion, girl. Did y'all go to school together? And I like, I don't know what it is. But she has, in my opinion, this deeply rooted hatred for Melody. And if it was never evident before, it was evident tonight in how she had absolutely no empathy. Dion, as a licensed, I'm going to keep saying it, a licensed family and marriage therapist, even as you said, there's some of the story that's out there, even knowing, and I'm sure, Dion, you travel these YouTube streets, so you know what's going on. In the same way, when Melody and Queen Sheba were having their motherless daughter conversation, you so happened to have seen it. Girl, you are walking through these YouTube streets, so you know he violated his no contact order. And you know all the other things that has been happening in that situation. But yet when you were speaking on, people excusing Oh, and I know why people are excusing it, but as you said that, you showed no empathy whatsoever. Even if you want to cape for Martel, you ain't showed no empathy whatsoever for what we know. We definitely know Melody is going through. You are a nasty piece of work, Dion. A nasty piece of work. I don't even know. Okay, this is where I stop. I'm gonna read y'all's comments. Uh, let me open up. Let me invite y'all up to talk to me, because child, I'm dumbfounded. This is crazy to me. This is crazy to me. Okay, I'm posting the link in the chat if you want to come up and share your thoughts. You're welcome to do so. If you don't want to, I understand. See, this is why I don't believe this, because she's never spoken about it before. The court documents contradicts all her statements regarding the. Listen, I know what I also heard in the court documents that Trendon read, but I still maintain that I'm not going to invalidate her experience. Even in this moment, as she's caping for Martel's dusty behind, I'm still not going to invalidate her experience. Right, Dion? Because that's my standard. That's my standard. I did not and will not ever go listen to those two idiots' podcasts. These snippets are interesting and seem to violate last. Listen. Whew, child, this therapist is unethical in my opinion. In my opinion, too, Quiet Storm 2.0, I don't see how it's appropriate to sit on a podcast talking to your client, because in the first Messy Mondays, she called Destiny her client. That's not allegedly. And if they delete that video where she says that, I already have the transcript. So go right ahead. Sounds like a duo relationship and lack of boundaries to me. Girl, whole lot of boundary crossing happening. A whole lot. How can Destiny expect for anybody to validate her while she's invalidating Mel? Good question. Oh, you said I will never listen or go over to a Mel hater channel. When it comes to these two, though, when it comes to these two, I like to point out the hypocrisy in the therapist. I like to show how the therapist is enabling Destiny's bad behavior and bad mindset. That's why I listen, Sandra, because I like to point it out. When they talked about triangulation some weeks ago, it was so funny. It was hilarious. As she's talking about triangulation, she was actually perpetuating that. I was like, ain't this some ish? Ain't this some ish? She's trying to teach about triangulation while she's triangulating. Destiny is trifling. I hope the only attention she gets from Mel is through Mel lawyers. Listen, quick, fast, cease and desist. So talking about me on your channel, because girl, I don't even talk about you. I don't talk about you. Why are you talking about me so much? And why are you talking about me with a whole therapist on a public platform in the manner that you're talking about me? That's crazy. That's what I would be saying if I was Melody. I'd be like, girl, this is crazy. This is obsessive. Like the two of them is sitting on this YouTube channel being obsessed with Melody. That's scary to me, especially from a therapist, somebody who is more educated than I am in psychology. somebody who is more educated in the area of psychology. It's scary. Anyways, let's continue. Remember, he also used. Yep, I remember that. I remember that. And that's what I just said. The obsession is real. The obsession is very real. And there's so much. There is so much that we don't know. He sat on the Tasha K interview and said, yep, when she took me off of the builder's license, so he says, when she took me off the builder's license, they were filming in a house that or a property that his name was on. So he went up there and he told them nicely, of course, that's what he says, to get up out of his house. But Melody's version of the events was that he came up there while she was filming that show and acted a plumb fool, damaging equipment and stuff. And y'all not gonna convince me that there's no evidence of that because they were filming. The fact that we haven't seen it doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. And I want to bring up, y'all, this tweet from Melody, and I wish that I had screenshot it and added it to the to the graphics. But let me pull it up. Child. Mm, um, okay, here it is. All right, so where is it? What was it? 2021, 2022. It definitely wasn't last year. Um, I'm trying to find a particular tweet, y'all. Because there's so much that has happened. Anyways, let me read y'all's comments. Yet, if Mel was the abuser, why did he show up? Uh, ooh, child, talk about it. He showed up to her date. Showed up to her date. Stalking and harassment. Videoing them. Hey, Toot.
Hey, hi CTV, how you doing?
I am annoyed.
I'm annoyed too. So I had to go back because I needed to just go and look at some dates, right?
Mhm.
So this is what really has me confused.
Yeah.
Is the fact that um in 2019 is when they met. That's when LB introduced the host to Destiny. By April, we know in September of 2019, they were the ex Williams were married. By April of 2020, Mel and Tel were divorced. And
A
June,
year, literally a year-long friendship.
well, it's I mean, like
Not even a
looking
whole
at the
year.
episode, not almost a year, let's say by season 3, right? Season 3 is when
Hey, chef.
they started
Hey,
having problems. Hey, Chef, Destiny, and Mel started having problems in their friendships by season. This is 2021, so less than a
Mm-hmm.
year. I would say a full year, and by the end of 2020, they were kind of sort of on the outs, or the early 2021, because by that reunion, they were no longer friends, and Destiny said she didn't no longer want to be her friend. So what I don't understand, that it being 2024, what gives Destiny the right to even speak on anything dealing with Melody once they broke up their friendship 3 years ago? I'm just kind of curious, and this is what makes it really, hey, all the 10 China, hey, sissy. This is what really confuses me because in reality, a lot of people can form close bonds and real
Yeah,
close friendships
absolutely.
in less than a
Absolutely.
year. However, when something big or traumatic happens during a friendship, it may cause a little road bumps here or there, and
Mm-hmm.
you may recover and you may not. In this case, they didn't recover. And I just don't understand, how
Yeah.
is it this woman feels like she can get up here and speak on Melody and what happened in her marriage when she has not even been in her life for the past 3 years? And we know that she's a flying monkey for a narc. I'm really confused
Thank you,
how
all
this
the
has
tea in
gone too far.
China.
This has gone too far. And
The
this
word
is
is she has
this is the
been emboldened by, I believe, Martel. She has gotten the courage and the confidence from him to sit on her messy mental health Mondays and speak in such a manner. Go ahead, chef. Sorry.
I was gonna say Destiny is the same person who said that if she knew she had to choose, she would have chose male.
right.
Right.
Like I don't
This
listen.
is confusing.
I
It's
didn't
so
listen to
crazy.
I didn't listen to Destiny's Monday Night Foolishness. I don't ever listen. It ain't even Monday though.
It's
Okay,
not.
anyway,
It's
anyway,
Thursday.
like call it Thursday Night Foolishness or something like that, because it would sound like y'all over there doing. Listen, this is what I got for Dion. Jesus, it's not my platform, and I need to remember that. Dion, I I really don't understand. First of all, let's just say this. You're saying now that you'll speak for Destiny. This is Destiny's platform, you dummy.
Oh, okay.
That's dumb. So go off. If that's what you feel like, go off. That sounds so stupid though.
Oh
I
my
mean, why
god.
would you not want to protect Destiny's platform if Destiny ain't supposed to be speaking about it at all? You shouldn't either. That's dumb.
Mm. I
Second,
tell you, clout is a drug. Okay.
it's ridiculous. Second, she likes the Dion likes the action that she gets when she talks about Mel. And
I think that's what it is too.
yeah, she likes what she gets. She likes that the audience fuels her up because everybody that listens to that show They don't care for Mel. Let's just keep it a buck.
And I
No one.
also think that she feels like she's swaying viewer opinions. Like I did a video on the other day, manipulation through therapist credentials, right? And I talked about how it seems as if Dion is using her professional hat to try to sway people's opinion, or if not that, to kind of put a stamp of, if a therapist is saying it, then it must be true because this person is knowledgeable in that area. You
I
know what I'm
I
saying?
I can
I
agree with that.
agree
I can
because
agree with that absolutely.
and also, even though she is a life coach, there's
Hmm.
still ethical guidelines she is required to follow. And some of those ethical guidelines do fall under the umbrella of her license, social work or therapy or whatever
Hmm.
she is. It does fall under the, because she's speaking not as a life coach, but as a therapist.
Yep.
And her
And
throwing out the caveat,
she should
right,
not be psychoanalyzing
right.
people on
This
YouTube. And that's
this
what
is
she's
where
doing to
and
Melody.
that's where she's messing up. And this
Hmm.
is where she has crossed the lines, because if she is a, even as a life coach, she's a mandatory reporter. So she
Yeah.
has she's mandated to report certain things, even as a life coach. So if you're mandated to report abuse of any kind of things like that, that means that you have a responsibility to speak correctly regarding that. Something is wrong and she's crossed the lines, and I think this is where she's messed up at. And
She
she's really
dislikes Melody. Y'all
Destiny's
need to
beyond unknowing.
see her face whenever she's referencing Melody or anything that has to do with Melody. Her face, her body line, like when you look at everything in its totality when she's speaking on Melody or reference, because they try not to say her name, but we not stupid. So whenever she's referencing Melody and you look at her body language, she had, in my opinion, she has a deep seated issue with Melody, which is again weird because she don't know this woman.
This is where I believe Sonny. This is where I believe when Sonny said when she was producing Destiny only mentioned Mel. I absolutely believe it, and I believe in the conversations that Dion have with Destiny. That's all
All
they
she
talk
talks
about.
about is
That's
Melody.
all they talk about is Mel. And I want to say
right.
this because I got to get this out of my chest. So they're saying that Dion is basic. I mean that Destiny is basically saying that if you gonna call Martel out on his D, you
You gotta
call
call
Mel out.
Melody out too.
Girl, I'm a roast and toast you on my channel.
That's what
I'm
she
a
said.
but
The-
but this is the thing though. I don't care what y'all say. Melody was not convicted. Melody does not have a conviction under her belt at all. The conviction came from a known abuser who continues not only to abuse his ex-wife, but he's also been accused of abusing other people. And I'm gonna just leave it there.
Leave it at, yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. Destiny, I want you to shut up, sis. This is
And not
again
only
why
that,
people
Chef,
cannot
when
feel
we
you in your situation because you continue to
fight for
cap
the wrong
for
side,
for what though, sis? And this is a person who's saying that they've experienced the same thing. This is also from a person who said that if they could choose, they would choose Melody's side. So if Melody was
Right.
that much, then why would you say that?
Right.
That that listen, I'm
and if
roasting
we're just
toasting her.
using our observation skills, if we look at Melody's actions towards Martel, the things that we have seen, if you're just using your observation
Retaliation.
skills, you can see that that is a reaction. And you can only react if there was an action prior. So as a, and
Facts.
again, this lady is a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Hmm.
Understand what I'm saying? So she should have the the tools and the knowledge and the experience to understand all of this within its accurate context, right? To say,
Right.
well, I've seen the video of Melody and Martel that Tasha K posted, and what it looks like is a reaction. When I tell you she gave Melody nothing, this licensed marriage and family therapist, she gave Melody nothing. She was like, well, we need to ask
Okay, but wait,
ourselves
I'm sorry.
why
I
we are why we're not pointing out when a woman does it. I'm
when
like,
did when did she
what?
become a licensed therapist though? So I'm confused.
Let
Is
me
she a licensed therapist or is she a life coach?
Both. She's both of them.
both. She's both.
So she
So, but
says
she's supposed to be a life coach to Destiny though,
to
right?
Yeah.
Destiny while she's on YouTube with
She says that
Girl.
in their very first, all right, I'm gonna pull up their very first mental health Mondays. Their very first one. In the very first one, she refers to herself as Destiny's therapist and life coach. The very first one.
Well,
yes,
okay.
and she
So for
also
me,
said,
that
I'm sorry, Shep, but she also said in a later one said that when I'm here discussing the show, recapping the show with Destiny, I'm acting in the capacity of a life coach. And she made that abundantly clear. However, tonight, what she's done is she's not doing life coaching. She's doing therapy and analyzing psychotherapy when she's
can
talking
we
about
stop giving her
abuse.
that though? Because here's the thing: when you get up on a platform in the way that you do, I don't. You're not analyzing nothing. At this point, you giving your opinion.
True.
You just like everybody else.
Didn't I call
You
it?
giving an opinion.
Didn't
I
I call it when I said they're going to take that one down? They're going to take the episode down of her saying she's her therapist and life coach. I called it. It's gone. But I have the transcript.
Oh,
So
good for
I'm gonna
you.
run it back. Huh?
Please run it back.
Yeah, it's gone.
I'm right there with you, healthcare workers.
I knew it. I
I
knew it was
feel the
gonna be
same way.
gone.
I feel the same way.
I feel the
Um,
same way too, healthcare workers.
this is just this. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think
Big
um
Big Queen says the life coach developing the same obsession with melody that Destiny has. Yep.
It's that melody effect. There's some type of effect that melody has that has everyone going crazy. That they will
I don't know.
dismiss these type of acts to I just how can you Destiny or others say that we should show Destiny grace when she's not showing grace to someone who has a conviction towards a friend of hers? I don't understand how we can even compare or put the two together, not even dismissing Destiny's claims of abuse from LeBaric. However, there's nothing you can't there's no way you can say if one person did it, both of them did it. You can't say that when you have not been in this person's life. So you don't really know everything.
You well,
Oh,
exactly
and
when you don't understand context, you especially if you're somebody that's close to one of the parties. As again, Destiny, you're not just a content creator just providing commentary on situations that you're observing. You're somebody who has had some level of a conversation or relationship with Melody, and right now you are still having conversations and you have a relationship with Martel, so it's different hearing Destiny speak on certain things. It's way different than hearing me talk about it, or Chef Don Don talking about it, or Toot talking about it, or any other content creator talking about it. It's different. And that's what they're not understanding. They're feeling like, oh, in this space, we're just content creators. Nah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's
I
not at all.
I just feel like at this point, um, it gets she, if this is what the therapist or what the woman wants to do around there, and you don't mind your license, listen, go off, sis. Go off. Do your big one. Because at the end of the day, everybody know what the truth is. You sit over there and you talk to Destiny. Destiny talks to you about the disdain that she has for Mel, and that fuels your head up too. You feel like, because you don't know her, you ain't never had no experience with Melody, so you only going based off of what somebody is telling you. Let's be for real. She only literally going based off of what Destiny is telling her. What is her experience with Mel?
I also
I mean, I'm
think
just
that
asking.
that Dion, to me, someone who's doing what she's doing and saying that she's a life coach and only hold her under this umbrella is someone who's trying to avoid the ramifications of what she knows that is unethical in her line of work, her true work. You can't hold them responsible for anything. You can't really, I mean, honestly, I'm not saying that life coaching is not something, because people do. A lot of people have that certification. But if they cannot be held accountable, then what good are their words? I'm just questioning that. If I
I
can't,
could I could
Mhm.
respect Dion if she was going to do this mental, whatever I call it, messy mental health Mondays. If she was going to do this messy mental health Mondays with Destiny and be, let's use fair, be fair across the board in her analysis of everything that we are seeing, and she was going to really ask Destiny the real questions, then I could respect that. But she is hyper focused on Melody. And you see, you watch it every single time they do this messy mental health Mondays. It's a focus on Melody. And that is problematic in and of itself. In and of itself, that's problematic. Because you, in my opinion, this life coach, this therapist, she has her client stuck. Mentally and emotionally, you have her stuck. And I don't know how that's okay, but hey, if Destiny likes it, then I love it, child.
I know one thing, I'd never hire a life coach. I'm sorry to y'all who got the certification, but I won't ever use you. Because if I need to sue and hold you responsible for messing me up, I need to be able to take you to court. And there's no
Guys, one
board or
second. You know what's funny? What's funny about sometimes going back, because I'm trying to find a tweet Melody made some years ago, and I'm looking at a tweet from May 13, 2023, when Melody says, I ain't about to be held responsible for how social media reacts to things. We can all have issues with how people do things. Melody stated her stance in 2023.
well, Avi, let's look at that. So she stated where she stood, huh?
In 2023, May 13, 2023 is the date on that tweet. Mm-mm-mm.
I wonder,
So look
is
at that.
I have a question. When I know you looked up about third party harassment,
Uh-huh.
I'm kinda, this is my opinion, to me, what Destiny and her life coach is doing is almost the same as abuse to me.
See, I'm not sure, so I don't want to say that, but if they continue down these lines, I feel, of trying to paint Melody as this violent perpetrator against Martel, then to me, that sounds like harassment by a third party. Because now you have somebody close to this man putting out a narrative that, in my opinion, isn't true based on what we've seen, unless there is just something out there that we don't know. Unless there's something that we don't know.
I think what we don't know is that Dion, he done hit it. Martell done hit it. She's acting like Trish, that she has a problem with the ex-wife slash wife slash ex-wife, just like someone on the outside who wanted to be on the inside. And that's just my opinion. Her obsession with Melody goes deeper than just what Destiny is saying. It has to do with Martell. That man is a real charmer. I really think it has a lot to do with Martell. Anybody in the city of Huntsville, to me, has had some dealings with Martell in some way, shape, or form, especially if it's in a way that can benefit him or her. That's just my take. It's too much. And for her to cross the boundaries,
Hmm.
it's a little bit deeper. And I think it's deeper on she may not be his type. I don't know what his type is, but in my opinion, I think there may be a connection there between those two. What you think, Chef? Is it giving that to you?
Between Dion and Martell?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Oh no.
I'm trying to
I don't
find, keep talking, I'm trying to find this tweet.
Okay.
um I,
'Cause she's
I,
acting in a way of a some the way her dislike of Mel is so intense. It's like Mel interrupted or came or cock blocked her in some way, shape, or form. And maybe just because she was the wife. I don't know. I just think it's just too deep
I think
for
a lot
you
of
to
people
cross the
are
boundary.
I think
Mhm.
a lot of people that are married and well, I don't know if she married or nothing like that, but I just feel like a lot of women are intimidated by Melody for leaving. They feel a certain way for her leaving. When they can't do it, or when they feel like they can't do it, or when they don't have the power to do it. That's what I'm
R-
noticing by a lot of these women. Same way I feel about Tisha and Kimmy.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I don't. I don't know about that one. I kind of get where you coming from though, where you're talking about like the disdain, like the way that she talks and
Right.
disdain that she has. I get that piece of it, but I don't know. I feel like it's more of a threat or something. You know what I'm saying? But I get it because we trying to figure out where does it come from when it comes between you and Mel. Like you speak like like you've had an experience with her.
Right.
Right.
That's it. That's it. Or
Yeah.
she
She's
interfered in an experience that she wanted or made. I don't know, but it just for her to be a licensed therapist. I mean, like no kid. The one thing that I know, they supposed to be able to look, remove themselves emotionally,
right. They're
supposedly,
supposed to be neutral.
and neutral in order to be able to see the big picture. And she's not showing that she can see the big picture. Her focus has been from day one when she came up talking about motherless daughters, has always been against male. And now,
It's to prove a point that
right,
Melody is, in my opinion, her point that she's trying to prove is Melody is narcissistic. That's the point. Several times I've watched this Messy Mental Health Mondays, and she keeps bringing up narcissism and
but
narcissistic
she can't do
personality
that as a life
disorder.
coach. But I
She
thought she
keeps
can't
bringing
do
it
that as a
up.
life coach
She shouldn't be.
because that's psychotherapy.
It is. She's psychoanalyzing her.
Hmm. I think
Even when she
the
talked about narcissistic friend abuse, when she talked about narcissistic friend abuse, she used Melody, and she said Melody's name. I reviewed that episode. She used Melody's name. She used scenes that Melody was in specifically in talking about narcissistic friend abuse and triangulation. Especially when she talked about triangulation, she was using all of Melody's scenes, right? All of
right.
Melody's scenes is what she used to as examples of triangulation, and a lot of the scenes that she did use honestly weren't even examples of triangulation. And on top of that, there were several scenes Destiny was in that were better examples of triangulation that she did not use. But I'm not the licensed therapist here in the room. So what do I know? Okay, I'm almost
Uh,
there, y'all. I'm almost there at the. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
that's that that makes sense. I think I think I'm gonna go with it. I feel, and I think a lot of us out here have felt that Destiny was his bottom B. She's always the one out there seeking the friendships, the women who she can introduce him to that can have some type of value into his life. I could be wrong. I really don't care because I don't have the highest opinion of Destiny. This is just my opinion. Um, and I think that Dion is one of those people because ain't nowhere in the world someone with all the credentials that she claims that she have would be doing this in this manner without being neutral, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. I think she's crossed the line somewhere that can be that can bring her some problems
Mm.
if Melody and her team would want to pursue it.
On December 17, 2022, Melody posted this question: who during the reunion said they are concerned that someone particularly is going to hurt themselves or someone else? Y'all remember that reunion?
What year? What year again?
2022.
So that was season. That's the season. That's the one that I'm talking about. The
That was
reunion.
the season of Carlos crying on the stage.
No, that season because I'm looking at Cinemax right now. Season 3. I'm sorry. Let me go back. Season 3 reunion. That started 2021. That was the one that was 2021 or 2022 was season 3, and that was the reunion where Destiny sat there and said that she did not want to be friends anymore with Melody. Melody had a black dress on, and Martel had the blue on, and that was, do you remember peeing in your mouth? That's that reunion.
And it's crazy that Carlos even asked her that.
Yep, that reunion was from July 17th. I'm sorry, season 3 was July 17th, 2021 to March 12th, 2022, according to IMDb.
According to, okay.
IMDb. Mm-hmm.
There is this tweet Mel made of, she said something happened that should have made
Martel lose his job. And I don't know for the life of me why I
What
can't.
year? What year is that again?
I think it's 2022.
Okay, 2022. Something that should have made him you lose his job.
Yeah, but
Hey,
the
ladies,
point,
ladies,
Mhm.
I
yeah.
gotta hop down, but
All right, Chef, thanks for coming up.
thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
You
You too,
too.
Chef.
Mm.
Um,
20,
the the point I'm
2022
trying to make with
is behind every man. Is behind every man.
yeah, with pulling up this tweet is I'm trying to show, the evidence of how many times this man has behaved unhinged, and Melody has hinted um to it, but now they want to paint her as the perpetrator of it all. That's why I'm trying to pull up this tweet. Because Melody's been dropping the breadcrumbs.
She sure has. She always drop breadcrumbs.
Yep.
Yep. So that was behind. Let me look that up. Let me go over here and look up behind every man. But I know that that was 2022.
Yeah, and I saw it the other day. And when you're not doing content, when you're not, in the mood to do content, you see things. I don't know what I was looking for, and I saw it. And I was supposed to screenshot it to do content, and then I forgot. But I'm showing a pattern, right, Dion? He talked about patterns. If that's not a pattern for you right there, then I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Okay, you know what? I feel like if.
Okay, so behind every man, it had two seasons, 2020
Mm-hmm.
and 2021. Um, 2022. I wonder if that must have been when he jumped on Jay. He tried to jump Jay. Let me go back and look. If you hear snoring, this is my dog. He snores so bad.
Ooh, child. Ugh.
Chat, I know y'all remember. Y'all remember when hold on, let me go
When
back.
was it?
Let me
Because
go look at season
it is,
5 reunion.
yeah, it is important to.
So season part 1 aired December 31st, 2022. That's season 5, which was reunion. What was this? The reunion 3, because they're off some seasons. So this is reunion 3,
Mm-hmm.
part 1, part 2, and part 3.
What
Yep.
season?
This was season 5, but it's reunion. I think it's the reunion 3 though. But
Mm,
season 5,
all right,
and it
I'm
was
trying.
between 10 September 2022 to January 14th, 2023.
I don't think it was 2023. Because if it's 23, I am far. I'm far down in this timeline. I am so far down.
Yes, that's the Pacino. Yep, that's the reunion where he tried to jump Jay. And that's when all of the own executives were there, if I'm not mistaken, because of the whole relaunch of Madani fight. And they said no fighting at all. So he should have been. So he was doing some things that if this is not it, That means in 2022 he was doing other things that should have had him fired
Yeah.
that we don't know about.
You know what? The crazy thing is, w- as you know, Mel's fan base, millimeters, people who support her, um, we're not heavy over here on her Twitter.
No, we're not.
So we be missing stuff. Because she posted a lot of, when I
She was
tell you,
real active on Twitter up
breadcrumbs
until
over
what,
here on.
year before last. She stopped. I
Yeah,
think,
she
yeah.
used to live tweet. She also used to live tweet. I remember she used to live tweet the episode, during the episodes, and she stopped.
I think there is a rationale to shut Destiny down. The same reason why Latrice sued Marie, the same
Mm-hmm.
reason why Marie won her lawsuit, is that when things are taken outside of the show, that's not really show related, and that affects a person's real life, then there should be a stop some type of way. That's just me. When it's lies or dishonesty that is happening, because we, I mean, to me, and this is just my opinion, it is no way, shape, or form Destiny can speak on anything dealing with Martel and Mel
Mm-hmm.
prior, I mean, after 2021. Because right now, everything she gets is going to be from Martel's point of view. So you can't say what type of person she is. You
It's
can't say
now.
how she express
Yeah.
how she does anything now. So she does need to shut up, because from that time frame, I mean, they both
And you
admitted
know what's
they,
crazy? You know what's
what's
crazy
that?
too?
What's that?
Just yesterday on TikTok, Melody talked about how nobody can talk about anything that has to do with her. Basically, they don't know what's going on in her life now. So, they can, if they're gossiping and saying stuff, basically it's gonna be a lie. And that's me putting words in her mouth, because I don't remember her exact
I mean, she said it. They both agreed that they hadn't even seen each other for
yeah.
almost 3 years. So I'm living in the same city as you, and I haven't even seen you in 3 years. That means you know nothing of me. I'm a whole new person. And we know she's a whole new person because she knows how to handle Martell now. She doesn't let him or others trigger her into the reactions that we used to see from Mel. And if that is not an indication of a change, then I don't know what is. I'm not saying anything about. I'm saying it from the standpoint of third party harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this platform on YouTube, because of the fact that there is an active, unlike what Maurice said, there is an active case of that's going on that can be considered third party harassment. So whether it's the defamation, whether it's whatever, it's the fact that this woman
You're
continued to take
using
a real
somebody in
life,
close proximity to you.
right?
Yeah.
And you're taking a real life situation, although you may say that you're doing entertainment is on TV. However, what you're doing in your own time away from the show, her YouTube channel is not a part of the show. So this
It's
in that in
not.
itself.
It's
But
not. It's
see, that's the
outside of her
thing. You
contract.
Pacino rules. You're saying these are her opinions. They're not her opinions when she's saying that she has first hand knowledge of things, right? So it goes away from being
And
an
she's stating
opinion
things as facts.
as facts. Exactly. So it's not an opinion anymore when you're saying I think such and such happened, or I feel this may have happened. She's saying she knows for a fact that these two were doing such and such to one another. And this is where the problem comes, because now you're using this platform, this very, very public platform, and you're talking about something that you don't know. She wasn't even around. She was only around for a year and a half of their marriage. So for the other
and and
13, 12
literally
and a half
around
years,
and literally around them close to the end.
like close to the end. So she can't say anything as a fact. And it's not about defamation at this point, it's about the law. And what the court order said is that he need to keep his flying monkey. She worse than coleslaw running her mouth. Like
I
real
one
talk.
one keep
It's
talking
but
to
it's not, no one
one
is talking
second.
about suing. We're not talking about suing. We're talking about third party harassment and the new order that came out on the 22nd of November that says all of that needs to stop. Period. And that's where those people like her need to be held accountable, because you don't need to be on your YouTube channel every Monday or every week speaking on a real case that you only know one side of, and you're speaking on it as facts. We already know what you did online. I mean, on the TV show, when you actually said, well, he said it wasn't true. So it's not true. But he was convicted. You just asked him how you felt about the conviction. And so now you're going to ride with the fact that, oh, he wasn't convicted. Her opinions is not an opinion. It's only, I'm just saying, if Destiny had freedom of speech, she'd be able to talk about her own marriage. I'm just saying. And that came from a court of law that she couldn't. So I don't think freedom of speech has anything to do with the fact that she has a licensed therapist who is talking and psychoanalyzing in a role of a life coach about DV, period. That's where some things need to be drawn a line. None of them know anything that's going on. And it really has nothing to do. I mean, I don't understand anything about freedom of speech or an opinion when it's dealing with DV. A lot of us who don't even really care for Destiny don't even want to speak on her and DV because of the fact that we do not want to diminish the fact that she said that she had it, she experienced it, and so we don't want to go against it, whether we believe her or not. And that's just one of those things that I feel the same consideration should be given, considering that it's an active case that's going on, an active court case that's going on. That's all. That's just my opinion. You know, oh, I bet she's paying it some attention. I know I would,
And you
especially
know
someone
what's
like that who was around my kids. You have to
and
remember
if
that, Pacino. She is around that her kids. They were going to her apartment to go swimming this past summer. That's where they
mm,
were going to swim at Destiny's place. So when you have someone who is around your children, nah,
who
and this is
thinks
real
like
life. We ain't talking about the show. This is real life. No, I would be paying attention. I'll be paying attention to
you
everything
gotta.
she say. Real talk.
And
Cause now,
you know
mhm,
what's crazy, as we're talking about patterns and patterns of Martel's behavior. I forgot that on Queen Sheba's interview, he admitted to violating another protective order that was put in place.
which one? What?
When she had the kids for 50 something days, as he puts it. Remember that conversation? I want to play
Yeah.
Queen Sheba's video, but I have the tweet because, before I joined this YouTube community, I would listen to my favorite YouTubers and I would live tweet, just like if I'm watching a TV show or whatever. And so let me see if I can go back and find the date. 1 second.
Yes, you can't forget about the fact that I mean, the lady had just popped up at the oldest. That's when she was harassing Miss Van to speak to her at the tennis match. So she's around her kids. So no, you need to I don't so now at this point, you can get up on y'all, let's be honest. I know for a fact, and this was years ago. My son had a cell phone when he was 7 years old,
Hmm.
because I ain't want to talk to his daddy. And I know, and that's how they communicated. He can call that cell phone at any time. And to know that this lady, who knows what they talking about around her children, and even not to even go that far, but just the fact that you have the audacity to even speak on this as his friend, and you see her kids regularly, shut up
Yeah,
and just
it's
talk about your own life and what you're doing with yourself and how
which why I
this
say
therapy.
she's not just a blogger.
So yeah, exactly. So this coaching that you experience, show us what this coaching has done for you besides teach you how to lie more.
So when he did the interview with Queen and
I don't think it's the kids. I'm not saying to keep her away from the kids. What I'm saying is that Destiny need to shut up while this
I think
case is
what
going
Toot
on.
is trying to show is how close Destiny is to the situation. She's not just a blogger like me or anybody
Giving an
else on
opinion.
YouTube who
Right.
don't know Melody or children Martel in real life. We are giving our opinions based on what we see presented to us in the public domain. However, Destiny feels like she has personal details, private details that the public isn't privy to. And that is what I feel like she is speaking to. And so in the same way, Miss Wanda sits on YouTube and she wants to drag Melody for filth. It's different because Wanda knows Melody personally, has been around Melody in her presence, breaking bread on vacations and all of that. It's different. And what Destiny and Dion did tonight, it was not okay. It was not okay. Well, last night, it's after one. Child, we up. Thank you to all the people who can't sleep. Like I sleep in intervals.
Hey, VLS, yes, they are diabolical. And that's where I feel, I mean, shoot, I'm in school now for social work. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I can take it as far as for all the licensures that I can get in order to be an expert in this field. However, what Dion is doing, you know what? I can probably even see maybe if she was not on there with Destiny and she was doing case studies or giving her examples or giving having a talk on the different things like normal bloggers do.
Hypothetical.
Yes, like normal bloggers do. But because she is, and knowing their friendship and what they're doing, it's just cause for concern. I don't know about her. I don't go over her stuff either, but I do know Sunny Meeks China is out doing hers. And she's only been on here for a hot minute.
Literally.
I mean, I'm just saying. As far as her
Literally.
likes, as far as her subs, as far as her lives, the numbers that she was getting just for the short numbers that she was making some motion at that time. I don't know what she's doing now as far as Sunny. Um, but she was making some motion. for someone who had been on for a few months, for 6, 7, 8 months, and comes on every week. They're
She's
not
doing
comparing.
well. I think it's because Sunny is not trying to fake mental health healing, safe space, women empowerment. She's not faking it. So people are gravitating to Sunny's content because it's more honest. And I feel if Destiny and Dion, they were more honest in what they were doing, they were more authentic, and they were actually providing mental health help instead of being
Right.
messy, more people would gravitate to it. I said, Destiny having a mental health professional um on her platform, I honestly felt that they would be imparting some knowledge.
I thought so too until she said that she
But
wasn't acting in the capacity of one, but as a
but
life coach.
even so, just education. Just education. Speak on hypothetical things or
Hmm.
scenarios and stuff like that.
Right.
And that would have been fine. But nope.
Because even when,
Everything. Go ahead. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, even when they're reviewing the episode,
Mm-hmm.
she's never calling her out on Destiny. Why did you sit on that park bench and lie to Martel? Destiny, why did you sit up here and say da da
Mm-hmm.
da da? Da? She never, and she never. And then the one time I did watch one time, and it was when they were talking about her taking that she can get Moses back if she wanted him back. And Dion was trying to say we don't do that with married men and all this other stuff. And Destiny was like, whatever.
and
you know,
and
she was like,
also when she talked about how she came at Mama Van, she kind of sort of checked her on that, but that's been it.
that's it. Everything else, I mean, we've heard it from Kimmy. We've heard it from Sunny just said the other day, she was like, I can't believe how how she stuck herself to Melody during the trip. She said it was really disturbing to watch. That no matter where Melody went, Destiny was right there. And before you can even get back from the trip good, you're doing interviews talking about the woman. And now you still have your life coach and you all are talking about this, knowing that this big motion, I call it a big motion because it is, because now the criminal court has overridden the family court situation. And it's bad. I mean, and it's too many instances where we've seen where there are a lot of women who get caught up in the stories of a person or a man and who do things to other women under that man's charm and his words and his lies. And I think this is just what I see that's happening. I just see that happening, and this is bad. To me, it's bad. But I'm going, yeah, for my man, baby. You right. I used to, I'm not even gonna lie, I used to have an unhealthy fixation on that show because I used to sit up and I couldn't believe, but I can't believe it now because what is it? What happened? Like there
When
was
I
a
tell
shift.
you this tweet has me, like, I'm listening to it. I'm telling you, this finding this tweet has me in a chokehold because I know I saw it. I don't know why I'm fixated, and I can admit that I'm fixated on finding it. That's just my temperament. I hate knowing that I saw something and I can't find it.
And see, I was in another chat later on earlier tonight, and OMG, it was awful for a
Is it one
moment.
of my peoples?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. I mean, I
Okay.
love the person chat, but it was just a visitor had stopped in. And one of the things that the visitor was saying, show enough, show enough, was saying is that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is a TV show. This is only entertainment. And the chat started going crazy when they said the entertainment ended when the revenge peaked. The entertainment ended when you have
When
motion.
you when she started to talk about somebody's child's paternity,
Right.
that was not entertaining.
That's not entertainment at all. And I'm like, I think this is the biggest thing that a lot of, I call them mellow stalker channels, versus the
That's a good
millimeters.
one.
Oh yeah,
Mellow
they're mellow
haters, mellow
stalkers.
stalkers.
They're mellow stalkers. That we know the difference between the reality and the entertainment. And we
Hmm.
have been fighting for the reality of it all versus the entertainment of it all. Yeah, we don't like what we see on whatever, whatever. However, the reality of it all has shown a timeline of some very specific things that has been happening against one
Yeah.
person. Now, even if we remove the cast away from this,
Hmm.
let's keep this focus on Carlos King and on Martel, because he also allowed a lot of things to happen that we saw entertainment, but the problem was the entertainment became real life, and the people who were affected by it were the children, Melody and her family. And that's where the problem ends. So I find it interesting now, like, s- recently, everyone wants to say this is entertainment. This is TV. This is only entertainment. Y'all gonna see Marcel handle Martel. Marcel handle Martel. Okay. Okay, cool. We know, okay, whatever we know, whatever he did for Go Rah Rah, Go Hollywood, y'all did it for the TV. However, Marceau wasn't on TV when he wrote in a Facebook group about knowing about this plot a year before it came out. I don't know about anybody else, but I see, I have a problem with complicity, and people try to remove.
And as you're saying all of this, I'm like, it's going down. You know, it's like the timeline is like pouring out in my brain of like all the instances where I felt like, okay, why was there not more protect? Because, for example, the Houston trip, where nobody's going to tell me that Carlos, the producers, they were not aware of this whole revenge piece situation.
Right.
And
He said that they were told not to say anything. So who told you? Who told you enough that you can just
oh,
to
you know,
tell you to
I was wondering what Marcel meant by that. So
who
now that
told you
you
to
said
forget
that,
any moral character that
it
you
makes
had, any
sense.
integrity that you had, that you, and I'm sorry, I don't care. She was in the chat saying, well, y'all hate us. Y'all hate us. No, people don't even know y'all to hate y'all. But what we do hate is the behavior that we've seen, because it ain't no way in this world that I'm a sorority sister from the very first female sorority, and you knew about this and you didn't pull me aside and say, hey, I don't know if you know, but this is what's going on. So you're going to let someone tell you not to do the right thing and to let it go, or don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I just don't understand. And I know sometimes my military life,
Hmm.
20 years is a long time, and integrity first and excellence in all we do is one of my core values that I've always lived by. And I just cannot understand how you can write that in a Facebook group as a man. And now here we are, 1, 2, 3 years later, almost. Because 2023 is when it all hit the fan. However, you're saying that a year before that, that you were told to stand down, but you were also taking jabs
Mm-hmm.
at a woman. Your big brother
Hi,
just took a
Pisces.
jab on Mr. Monday saying that you could say something, I could say something that can really hurt her feelings. But man,
But
why would
what?
you want to
I
do this
was like,
to a woman?
what could he say at this point that's gonna, like, they're gonna bring up, oh, your husband cheated on you. Okay.
Like really, like
It's like
what
we've we've been there, we've heard it. We know this. What else do they
exactly?
have? They can't come for
Maurice
her.
said, like some little 18-year-old boy, I could say something that can hurt your feelings. But man, you're
That
supposed to
was
be
so
an
silly.
established man. You're supposed to be a gentleman, right? I guess
Hmm.
they've never called themselves a gentleman, but that's what I will assume that a 40 some plus year old man would at least be a gentleman, that you don't even have a gentleman code of ethics. To
That
now
was a
that you're
weird
upset because
statement to
someone
make.
mentioned something about a DUI and don't want their name associated with yours because they had a family member who passed away because of that. What's so wrong with that?
And Melody shared it on her live yesterday. She said her great grandmother was unalived by a drunk driver. So I even understand more, even though I knew this story before, it brought back to me why in that scene Melody was saying all the things that she was saying, because she was coming from the standpoint of somebody who understands just how tragically somebody
Right.
driving under the influence, how tragically it can end, not only for the person behind the wheel, but for the people who could possibly be around.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Chef
It's like,
Done.
are we listening to someone who has grief? I cannot. Oh
Or the hole in the wall.
my God.
Where the fan's supposed to be. Not the bathroom rug in front of the stove. Oh my God, I'm done. I'm
Listen.
I'm
Ooh.
done. But that's you know what? Maurice. So y'all, they set up there on the 6th of November, whatever that Tisha just posting, that was from the 6th of November before election, that NAACP thing that happened in LA. And Carlos said that they're the blueprint of the
I saw
show.
it. When I tell you, I listened, because this is what I do now. When I because of content creation, I have to watch things that probably on a at another point in my life I wouldn't. So I gotta like speed through, like, speed through stuff or read it. I
Right.
read through the transcripts, and when he said that, and when he was giving out his thank yous, and Melody's name was nowhere in sight. And when the cast on the stage was giving out their thank yous, and when he's like,
Right.
"Oh, I created this show and this," I'm like, Carlos, you weren't thinking about anywhere in this country called Huntsville before Melody
Exactly.
paid her $500 and met
And
up
had her
with you,
consultation.
and you realize that, wait a minute, there's some fabulous looking people down there in Huntsville doing some fabulous things. And
But
you
that,
said she was a star. When
mhm,
you saw her walk up in her Gucci dress, you knew she was a star. You wanted her on Real Housewives of Atlanta.
right.
So to
And you
sit
know what
on
I
that
find
stage
interesting?
and continue to erase Melody from the history of how the show came to be.
Not to mention, let's not forget, Heisey, let's not forget that Mel said that they had three offers from the pilot that was shot. There were
Hmm.
three offers from three different networks. The pilot only had the hosts. There was not the ensemble cast
It
when they
was
were
their
shopping,
sizzle.
when they were shopping the pilot around. Mel said that in her TikTok. She said it was three networks that wanted them off the pilot itself.
Ooh,
And
look
it
at
was,
God. Look at God. April 8th, 2023. Me and Melody Carlos post. Me and Melody Cherie are having a debate on whose fan base is messier, the millimeters or the raindrops. And clearly, we all know it's the millimeters, child. But you want to know what the vote said? 456 people voted, and 56.8% said the raindrops were messier.
oh, said it ain't so. Hmm.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
something?
Isn't that something?
I just thought I don't even have a problem at this point. I don't have a problem with Carlos saying that he's the creator of the show. What I did have a problem with is the fact that no matter how you may feel, at a minimum, they should have said, I would like to at least thank the hosts for even bringing
Even though
us.
I don't even want to give Marta any props, child, the truth
Right,
is he was part of the genesis.
right.
It was
And it was
Melody's
their
vision.
life.
It was Melody's vision. Yes, it was her brainchild.
Right,
She saw that big things were happening in Huntsville, and she felt like they could tell a story that would be great for TV, and he drove her to the meeting. And I know even if he didn't drive her to the meeting, Melody would have driven herself, child. And she
right.
would have had that meeting with Carlos, and there would still be a show today. But the fact is, they were a couple at the time, so we have to, give unto Caesar what is Caesar is Caesar's.
So you
So
said
he
that was
was,
2023, April 2023. I'm gonna have to go bring up that tweet and make sure I screenshot that.
yeah. Ooh, where is it?
Because show styles and
April
spirit.
8th, April 8th, 2023.
Okay, you know, show styles and spirit did a run it back about
Love her.
who who. Yeah,
Oh,
me
I'm glad you
too.
know my people.
Yeah, and y'all, she did a video about who was the first in the exposure culture that happened on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And
Mm, I saw
basically
that video.
going back, if you all haven't seen it, right there on camera is when the hosts confronted the Scots about releasing their tax information.
And I've said that to people.
You have
If
said
we
that.
want to talk about who started, sharing people's business on the show, it wasn't Melody. It truthfully wasn't Martel.
Right.
It was them Scots.
It was the Scots that released their tax. And what purpose would releasing their tax information would do besides showing what they're claiming and how much income they're claiming? And mostly everyone knows that small businesses, you can handle things a certain way, but that was low down to do that. But
Yeah.
and my recent, yeah, Miss Blade, they're gonna try to you. But what I found interesting was how Kimmy was sitting up there talking about some people who should go and how it was the core six that really catapulted this show and yada 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 whoopty whoopty whoop. But I look at it like this. I think Melody, when production asked her to find two couples to replace
Hmm.
them during that contract
That contract
negotiation,
thing, yeah.
I think they realized just how replaceable they were, and they mad. I think they're really mad at her. Not just because, yeah, the lawsuit is all Maurice. That's all him. He can't blame that on nobody but himself. But knowing that they have two couples that was ready to come in and take y'all place, that gotta hurt. That must hurt. And her talking about who should go and who, why is Kimmy talking about who should go and who should stay? I thought that was really weird. It was like as if they already knew. I felt, I've said that I felt that Mel chucked the deuces to them and said, "F this show, and y'all go
She
head on."
she isn't talking about the, because Mel, I feel in the summer when she was doing the red phone,
Uh-huh.
she sounded like she was excited about what the second half, right? Am I
I
bugging?
wouldn't say excited, but I think she was more like, "This is just what it is. This is
But
the
it
way I
seemed like
came."
she was willing to. She was like, y'all, the second half, you're gonna see the old Mel, da 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 season. Like it seemed like she was about to talk about the second half, in my opinion. Because the first half,
Yeah.
we didn't get a word from Melody, not a tweet, not a story post, not a live. Even in the interviews that she did, she barely talked about the show.
We're still not getting any of that.
No, I'm
I
just
do.
saying.
Yeah.
But then around the time when the girls' trip was happening, then she started talking about the show more, and then she was coming out with the red phone. And it sounded like when the second half comes, she was going to be talking about it. And then, the second half started, and she's like, nope.
No, she's not.
No
Well, she
words.
she did say that we would get a lot of answers because she's not letting anything slide anymore. But what I find
Yeah.
interesting though is the Scots. Why would you want to come on and try to take over somebody else's spot and not create your own? And that had me thinking when I was asking myself that question, it had me thinking, what do they really have to offer? And then I think about the nightclub, that old garish nightclub that's probably going to be a very hot thing in Huntsville, because of the college and everything. That they're probably going to try to do something surrounding that.
Listen, I want to see, and you've heard me say this. I want to see all the women, and I've been very specific. I don't care nothing about them men. Okay, they can fail if they want to, but I really do want to see all the women on that show win. However, however, they continue to say, "Oh, it's a TV show," and this, that, and the third. But I'm sitting and I'm listening to you know Carlos and them Scots talk about everything that they have going on, and I'm like, so why is this not be Kimmy them saying they got 9 properties in North Huntsville, and we didn't see them buy not one of those properties on the show? I don't understand why not. Why not?
Um, I don't
it,
hear anything about them.
it does not make any sense. It does not make any sense why they are just not showing more of what they have going on. And they're on a reality show. I don't see how showing that you've bought some properties, I don't see how that's going to hurt. I don't see how showing that you just closed on your ninth property in North Huntsville. I don't see how that's going to hurt. I don't showing the process of you building whatever that is. How's that going to hurt? Y'all opening a new restaurant or whatever the case may be, lounge, club, whatever. How would that hurt you showing that process on the show?
Because it doesn't sell. I think I have to be honest. I don't like Love and Marriage Huntsville anymore. I feel, and this is my opinion, because I'll be watching the bootleg, y'all, so y'all can just talk about me, whatever. I feel like Bell Collective is a much, much, much better show. Um, and the only reason why I think that is because we can actively see the ladies and even the men try and have some type of resolve um, with their group, whereas here, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Oh, look at Courtney. We wide awake too, girl.
We wide awake.
Talking about that old Destiny and that life coach Dion. Um,
Ew.
but I just think they the resolve, the things that we've seen, the reunions, they say they're gonna move forward or they'll try to move forward. The next thing you know, we see Tisha in confessionals throwing shade. We
Let
hear
me
both
tell.
Tisha and Marcel throwing shade. And
And Melody talked about that too. She said they sat in that scene and said, "We're not gonna throw digs at each other on social media anymore." And then Melody said in a tweet, "Guess who was the first to break that pact?" And we all know who those people were.
right,
Hmm. Yeah, we
right,
know who those people were. And she also said about, and this just goes back to the manipulation of Martel, right? So May 6, 2023, Melody post. It has already been proven in all caps in court that you missed their birthday party last year, even though you were invited. And then she puts in brackets, proven in court. And instead, you were in Atlanta,
right,
proven in court. This is why he's in a scene. He's in a
right,
scene acting crazy.
right. He
But
did all of
let
that to
Destiny
go
and them
shoot.
tell it. There are things that Melody needs to work on too. Like, lady, what?
He did all of that, and I remember I can't remember who the CC was, baby, but they maybe it was Here for Hot Tea. Shout out to Here for Hot Tea, and
You know
broken
she's good
down
with the
that
debunking. She
yeah,
here for Auntie's gonna debunk a lie, child, and she
he was
coming with the
in.
receipts.
He filmed the scene in for Roa. He actually
Yes,
filmed that scene for Roa.
that
The
same
one,
day
uh-huh.
or weekend, yeah.
Yep, and that was the one that I think him and Kenya had gotten into it
And then
because they broke.
Melody also posts, not the father of the year who missed Milani's first birthday because you were, I guess, expecting the one you created during the pandemic a few months after I had Melanie.
Mm, I remember
Mm-mm-mm.
that tweet. You agree with me, Miss Jones? They are the Bells is a good y'all.
It
That's
is a
good.
good show. They're actually showing what they are up to.
And I like the fact that you have those that are working. They're not all coming out saying, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. You got a whole plethora of entrepreneurs from those who are
All
doing
right.
exceedingly
So
well.
I
You know
hope
what I
y'all
mean?
remember, I'm trying to look for the tweets that prove how Melody hasn't been protected on this show. So May 6, 2023, she says, I didn't know he was coming to the party. Carlos King likes to say, my cast are always aware and this and that's what he always says. Everybody knows what's happening. Well, Melody's saying, I don't think Melody's gonna post this and it not be the truth. She
She
says,
said it, yeah.
I
And
didn't know he was coming to the party, and I made it in all caps clear to every single person there that I didn't want any drama at the party. I even threatened to have everyone leave and not film it. And she says, hashtag love
Right.
and marriage Huntsville. But then, boom, here he comes with a spot for him to park. Where's the protection? Where's the protection? Melody says, I went off and said leave to the entire team because I don't like people trying to do ish for moments and camera time. The fact that my phone records shows that I called him before the party and y'all think he didn't know he wasn't invited, and then she posts the phone records. And she posts the phone records.
Right. I remember.
She also said, y'all heard me say, and we heard her say it in the scene, we're not doing cameras. So when So Gucci says that woman walked up in the scene and she didn't know that that woman was going to be there, I believe it.
I do too. I believed her.
I believe it.
And VLS, yeah, we know that Kimmy don't talk about anything. And at a minimum, she could have told Mel from the first time he filed for court for custody. She should have gave her a whole rundown of what to expect, but she didn't. But I will say this about Rest in Peace Kiki tonight. Um, old show enough was like, y'all better leave Kiki name out y'all mouth. And so the whole chat started dropping Rest in Peace Kiki's and Purple Hearts and Doves. Because
Good.
we
Good.
like, hold on.
I
You know,
felt like it was in poor taste. And
we
I
like
know that
her.
it happened on camera, but I still feel like it was in poor taste for Tisha to say that that was one of the pits of being on the show. I get it. It happened and it definitely is, a low point, but I just feel like in that moment, just say, you know what, in this moment I'm just going to pick something else and just you know, not even sum up that memory. I don't know. It's probably just me, but that's what
you
I would have
you
done.
talking about Tisha
Yeah.
saying her that you know what? Me
I was
having the
like,
visual when Millie Chan said when she saw her at the Boulay ball for the sorority and how terrible she looked and how she was having a hard time. You can see that she was having a hard time. So now, mm-mm, mm-mm,
Melody not being protected. This
mm-mm. I don't
scene
see it.
after Martel is screaming in Miss Van's face after, I'm sure she's telling them, he wasn't invited, he shouldn't be here. Own scripted posts. Martel really don't give a damn with a laughing emoji. He
I
said,
remember
call the
that.
popo.
That was poor taste. That was so poor. That was poor taste for them to do that at that baby's birthday party. That's when I knew
Mm,
then that they didn't give a damn about
they didn't.
Melody. I knew that then, right then and
Mm,
there, when they did. Yep. And on unscripted is still Carlos King. OMFG reality is Carlos King, if
mhm.
I'm not mistaken. And of course, the Love and Marriage Huntsville is Carlos King. All those are his, if y'all want to know. So when you hear people say that y'all keep supporting him or whatever, 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 just think about some of those that the IGs that's being putting out information. Because think about it. How can one put out clips, so many clips that you can watch the whole show and they never get struck? So
Melody
I really
posted all posted a whole screenshot of him calling her back to back to back to back to back to back to back
okay,
on January
correction.
28th, the day of the party.
OMFG is not Carlos, y'all. Correction, my bad. Thank you,
Oh no,
Chef Dundon.
it's not Carlos. What's his name? Joey? It's Joey.
Okay.
I Yeah, I started following him when, or them, when they were posting basketball wives content.
I'm gonna go back and follow him again because I had stopped. I
Yeah.
had to unfollow him.
No, not Joey caught us straight because you thought it was.
Yes, he caught a stray. I'm like, oop, nope, unfollow, unfollow.
Okay. So Melody posts on May 13, 2023. We're pointing out how she wasn't protected on this show. She posts um
What year was that? I mean, say that again. What date?
May 13, 2023. She
Okay.
says, he texts me, Mel, I'm not invited. And she says, and I made it very clear. If we were in a good space, it would be different. Disrespect equals no access. People who know his number knows the last four digits. And she posts the screenshots of Martel calling her back to 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 back calls on January 28th, the day of the party, because he knew he was not invited. But I guess production invited him, in my opinion, for a scene, for drama at a kid's party, knowing that the situation was a little volatile at that point in time and still is. Where's the protection? Where is
Hmm.
it?
Yep, I remember that LOL, call the popo, call the police. I remember that. And I
That
thought
was
that was
crazy.
real
And when
poor
I saw it,
taste.
I was like, wow, they really find this funny that he's walking into this event after yelling in her mama's face. And guess what? She told him, you can't be here right now, but you can come back and get them. And did he come back to get them?
Yep, he was headed to ATL to do it to shoot his scene
Hmm.
with Roa for the birthday party, whatever party that was. And one of his last scenes, huh?
It's crazy.
Hmm. That is crazy. But hi, see, TV. I'm gonna get off here and drop down.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
I'm
glad
going
you.
to head
I'm
off.
be. You got me going. I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna pick up the charge and go through the Twitter tomorrow. I'm going through it deep
Listen, I'm
tomorrow.
going to go. Because I'm sure I probably retweeted that tweet or something because I don't, I hate when I already said it. I hate when I see things and I'm like, oh, this would, I probably should save this for accurate context episode, and then I didn't do it. And now that I need it to prove a point, can't find it.
Via, you said, has anyone heard that CK does not own Kingdom Reign? What I've
What?
heard and what I've read was that there he was created, Kingdom Reign was created under ITV, and that's how Kingdom Reign came about. And the shows that he's still under contract under them. So I don't know if that means that he owns it or he doesn't own it. What you think, Chef? But I do know for a fact if you read the article that that is ITV, and then yep, Kingdom Reign was created and under contract under ITV USA.
Interesting.
Yep. And that's
I
why
don't know, but that's
I think that's
interesting.
why a lot of people was questioning too, why weren't they I don't know the lawsuit or anything, but I think that was one of the questions because ITV is contracted under OWN and Kingdom Reign is contracted under ITV. And that's why when Mel says OWN cash checks, writes her checks, but she also get a check from the cast as being a cast member.
I wish I knew how to like, look further into that, but I'm not sure. I Yeah, I'm not sure how
Yeah,
to.
but Kingdom Reign does have they had like a 10-year contract with OWN for a first look deal that he has directly with OWN. So I don't know how that works. I just I don't know anything as far as I guess any shows that he's just gonna try to bring to fruition. OWN gets to look at it
Let me
first,
see what
yay
that
or nay it.
means. Let me see what
Mhm.
that means. I'm gonna see what that means.
Chef
I
said it's
like to I
Googleable.
like to research, child. First.
Yeah, it's interesting how it's all set up. And I really knew about ITV is because there was a initiative at one point where a lot of letters was being written to the female executive there at ITV about Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Oh, okay. So a first look deal means an agreement where a creator, like a writer or a producer, gives a studio or network the exclusive right to be the first to review and potentially develop their new projects before they can shop them around to other companies. If the studio or network passes on a project, then the creator can then take it elsewhere to find another buyer. Ooh, so that means Owen did not want Bold and Bougie.
Nope, they did not want Bold and Bougie,
I'm
but
sorry,
they kept,
that should not be funny.
but
But
Family
it is.
Empire, yeah, they kept Family Empire
They
though.
kept Family Empire though. They kept Bell Collective. But they said, we pass. Bold and bougie pass. Allegedly, we don't know. But I'm just saying, if this is what a first look deal means, and they have, and let's say he does, because does he actually have that with O Network? What's the name of the place? IPTV?
It's ITV.
Oh.
Um, I think here it is. ITV America. It came out. This is a IMDb. It says IT. This is 29 November 2016. ITV America has announced a deal with executive producer Carlos King, whose company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, will become a production label under ITV America, with King serving as president. In
Oh.
addition,
That's
hold on, let me
Deadline you're
see.
reading?
This was on this was on Blavity. Hold on. But I know it was on um
Okay, because I'm looking at ITV America's website, and they also have it too. I did not even know all of this too. Oh, November 29, 2016. This is a press release. Um Reality TV producer
right.
Carlos King inks a deal with ITV America.
Okay, here it is on tvreal.com. I'm sorry.
Under the pact, Kingdom Reign Entertainment will become a production label under the ITV America umbrella, with King serving, okay, that's what you just
Mhm.
read, with King serving as president and reporting to ITV America Chief Creative Officer Adam Scher. And also, he got a boss.
And Left Field Entertainment CEO David
He got a
George.
boss.
He does have a boss.
King will develop and produce unscripted series across lifestyle, reality, and other genres.
Hmm.
Carlos, da,
Under
da, da.
ITV.
Yeah,
They
he got a
also said
boss.
in a joint statement, Cher and George said in a joint statement, Carlos has an expert eye for talent and the
Mm-hmm.
ability to identify fascinating worlds with diverse lifestyles and experiences that are relatable, aspirational, and fun to watch.
And it's basically the same press release across every other platform that I'm looking at.
Yep. And King added that he's always been drawn to worlds that elevate distinct voices and celebrate a glamorous and unapologetic view. I'm thrilled to team with ITV America and its legacy of standout programming and huge roster of talents. So, yep, there it is.
I did not know this. This is very, very interesting. Oh, Chef
ITV,
Dondan says, I've always told y'all that, which is why I say we give him too much credit. Yeah, I'm seeing that now clearly. He doesn't have control. He doesn't have control. This is what this means to me. He doesn't have control. So I guess when he says, like when they asked him about the the photos, and they were asking him why certain people weren't in the photos, and he's like he doesn't have control over that. Well, I guess he wasn't lying. I guess he wasn't lying then.
nope, he's not. Because he has a boss and then his boss has a boss.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
there's some serious levels.
then there's also the network of it all too, where his bosses, they have to answer to O Network in terms of they have to present what own wants.
Right. And then you got OWN falling under Discovery.
Child, what a
So
chain.
it's a lot of it.
What
It
a
is.
chain. That is
It's
so interesting to me. Chef said he been saying it. I must have missed those lives, or I came in late when you said it, Chef. But this is the first time I'm actually hearing this and knowing this, because I just thought the partnership was just basically they have production teams to help to carry out the vision. That's what I felt that was. Like ITV, they just come in to help with producing the show, but essentially it belongs to Carlos King, and but that's not what this press release, that's not what I said. Interesting, very interesting.
I say you have a good night and everyone in
All
the chat. I'm
right.
dropping down and I'm gonna just listen in.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
for letting me
coming
know.
up. Thank you
No
for coming
problem.
up.
You take
Y'all, I
care.
am so behind in the chat. I'm not even going to try. But I thank every single person that was in here um tonight. Thank you to the trees. Thanks Chef Don Don for coming up. Thank you all the tea in China for this super chat. I appreciate it. But y'all, Dion and Destiny tonight, well, last night, they did some nasty work on their YouTube channel in speaking about Melody and Martel's DV situation. I don't know what Dion's issue is with Melody, but I just feel like she has just this deep dislike for Melody. And I feel like as a therapist, she might need a therapist to go and work on that. Because that's my observation. But I'm about to hop off, y'all. It's 2:32 in the morning. I gotta go sleep for work. But Chef, I'm gonna be looking for your live um later on in the morning, because I might listen to all my faves who have caught wind of this live that Dion and Destiny did. I'm about to be listening to everybody go off, and I will be thoroughly enjoying everybody's perspective on it, because it was definitely some nasty work. And y'all, when I find that tweet that Melody made talking about how Martel did something that could have cost him his freedom and his job, I'm gonna do another live to talk about that because that adds to all the evidence of how much unhinged behavior he has presented over the years. But now we got Destiny and her therapist trying to paint Melody as the one that's just as problematic as Martel. And I don't like that because it's untrue. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Remember to like this video, share the link to the channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter now called X at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Until my next video, I'm sure that I will see y'all somewhere in these YouTube streets. So please walk good. Bye.